Well, okay, so this is Baltimore, but let's be honest. This is basically what they're depicting this movie is pretty much just the classic nuclear family, suburban life in a neighborhood where you know all the neighbors know each other. You got the stay-at-home mom, you got the professional dentist husband, the two kids. Uh, just kind of perfect middle America, basically, is how it feels here. And that's
Kind
exactly the kind of place where you'd have a secret serial killer.
So I love how this movie states that this is apparently Baltimore's first serial killer. Um, it's Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore does make a lot of negative lists in terms of murder rates. So I've gone to the Baltimore Aquarium, frequent visitor of that.
I love
Uh,
that place.
School field trip, which there was one school field trip at the Baltimore Aquarium. Unfortunately, we had to show up so early in the morning for the buses that unfortunately I wore mismatched shoes and got made fun of by the school kids the entire day. So I don't have the greatest memory of that school trip to the aquarium, but
Was your
outside,
feet at least
yeah,
comfortable?
no, one shoe was a big shoe and one was a small shoe. And they're both not looking very similar. And I try to hide on the bus by putting a bag in front of the shoes, but quickly word traveled around the bus that old Vic in the back had the wrong shoes on, and
It was about the. Let me
yeah,
guess. The gossiper was the girl you were crushing on at that time.
that is the worst feeling when you're like, okay, as long as she doesn't find out, but then she's the one telling everybody, look at that guy's shoes. It was over. Fifth grade, never the same after that. But point I was gonna make is that yeah, I go to the aquarium, but other than that, I stay away from Baltimore. I don't see myself visiting Baltimore too often, mainly because of the reputation. But I think also we have to be honest. There's probably a great side of Baltimore, and then there's a side where you probably just don't want to travel into. This movie shows you get a little bit of the city. Basically, that club is like the downtown Baltimore area, but
Mm,
most of it is we get almost that again that super small town middle America feel.
yeah, and we also get a very very sickly sweet opening with this family.
Oh yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
this
I
feels
thought
like
this is sitcom level sickly sweet.
yeah, but I love it because the movie's luring you in with like how over the top like this stuff is like the dialogue, especially now Kathleen Turner, man, you gotta put a huge spotlight on her in this movie because this
Wee.
is just her facial expressions, how she can like instantly go from sort of super simple mom to maniacal planning ahead killer within like two facial expressions she can change from back and go back and forth in the same scene. So um she really well the thing too is with her, I don't know if you were familiar with like their stuff from the 80s, but she was a pretty big actress in the 80s. She was in a movie called Romancing the Stone. It's like a fun adventure movie. Peggy Sue got married, but she always played for the most part like a more wholesome character. So it was like brilliant casting to have her here. And actually, she didn't want to do it. She had to be kind of her apparently her agents, people around her, even Michael Douglas, one of her former co-stars, they all told her not to do this movie. They thought that the director, John Walters, was a B-level director. They thought this was going to be like a B-level movie, B-level script. So, but she thought it was fun. She wanted to do it, so she gave it a chance. And when she signed up for it, that's what kind of pushed the financing and everything through. Was just her presence. She was a big enough star to make this a theatrical release, get it off the ground. And thank goodness she did, because like I will remember Kathleen Turner mostly for Serial Mom. So
Yeah, because for me, that's the only thing I've seen her in. Um,
well, that's fine. I would definitely recommend going back and watching Romancing the Stone. And my one of my coworkers also loves what's the movie called with Danny DeVito? Some movie that's like a huge movie about divorce where she and Michael Douglas again are getting divorced, and but I'm forgetting the name. But she's a great actress. Let me say.
but I will say, I was talking to my brother about this as I'm watching this movie, thinking, I wonder how different this movie would be if they got Katie Seagal to be the mom.
Katie Seagal. Man.
I mean, she's also a pretty damn good actress. She always plays the mom, but she's always that gray area mom. One that
Mm,
you could see doing this for her family.
yeah. I think a lot of actresses could could have done this with their own take on it. But I don't know. Just Kathleen Turner strikes me as like exactly what I would picture as like the stereotypical like stay at home where it's like every night you have the perfect dinner made and she's like waking up her kids to go to school on time, telling the kids to make sure you wear your seatbelt, like just the typical mom stuff. She just plays that perfect. And then when she snaps into serial killer mode, I'm also like, oh yeah, you can see that kind of mean side too. So it's like, I don't know, she hits all the right notes to make this believable. But let's talk about not the background of the movie, but let's go into where this movie comes from in terms of like the characters and stuff, because we were having a discussion earlier about kind of the movie picks up at a point where she's about to start her killing spree, but we're surmising has she already been killing or is this the first kill?
So for me, I feel like she's already been killing. She's just been more clean about it because she kills these people pretty quick, pretty easily. She has no hesitation. And then all of a sudden, but the part that's not clean about it is she does not cover her tracks. It's like she knows she's going to get away with it.
Well, yeah, her kills are kind of whimsical. I mean, they're kind of like spur of the moment, like a little thing can trigger her, and then she just decides to kill. But it's not like, it's not so planned ahead that she really, like I said, she doesn't cover tracks well. She on the fly will pick the weapon she's going to use to kill. But there's also the element of not to say that the people in the movie are stupid, but it's like it's not the smartest bunch because obviously she still ends up getting away with it at the end, just defending herself in court. So this is not like the CSI Law and Order group that are like tracking, to their credit, the cops are not terrible in this movie by any stretch.
No, so the cops aren't. The justice, the court system apparently is.
Yeah, I mean,
The cops are actually pretty competent in this movie, which has surprised me. I actually like that. It's like, oh, we got cops who are good at their job. And I'm pretty sure this entire small area, whatever jurisdiction this is, all those cops were prior military for one reason. Right before the church scene, when the two detectives said, okay, let's go get them, they all get out in unison. I mean, it is damn near perfect as if they all trained just to be this kind of imposing presence for this character.
Yeah, the movie with the cops, it's not for them. It's not a whodunit. I mean, they lock in pretty quickly on like, this is our main suspect. And then we think it's her. Oh, we know it's her. We're going to follow her everywhere she goes. So they pretty early on, I mean, it doesn't take a lot. Okay, so we'll talk about the first kill basically being the teacher.
Well, actually, before we get to the first kill, Dottie Hinkle's getting all these obscene phone calls. And when the cops do come to them and talks to our main, I forgot what our main character's name is. Does she even actually have a name? Beverly.
Yeah, Beverly. Yeah.
Okay.
It's confusing because a lot of times people are calling
they're just called mom. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Beverly. Yeah, Beverly. When the cops come to talk to her, and all of a sudden, and she starts defending herself like she is, like the cops were interrogating her when they were just asking her questions about a harassment case. Like, no, I don't even use the P word. Watch, I'll speak to my birds right now. It's like, lady, you just incriminated yourself right there.
Yeah. Now she fools her family pretty easily in the movie, but with the cops, I feel like they want to believe that she's on the up and up, but she does act in a way where I can see them kind of be like, something is off about this woman. They maybe they're not at any point saying like murderer as of yet, but still maybe feeling like she's a little bit too nice or fake nice, a little bit off-putting, I would say, in her behavior.
And we kind of get what her behavior style is in the very next scene when she goes up, calls Dottie, and she just flips a switch, and it is hilarious.
That is hilarious. I mean, I don't know. There's very few prank call scenes that I would say. It's so good. If this movie wasn't about her killing, it was just about her doing prank calls, I would watch the entire movie. I'd be like, they're just calling around, like messing with all the suburban wives and stuff like that with these prank calls. Yeah, that's a good introduction to her character, these prank calls. Of course, Now murder's a different level than prank calls, but we can
Well,
see she has a dark side, basically.
yeah, but now that we got that off our chest, let's go ahead and talk about these murders. The first one is the teacher. Uh,
Now, now,
he did break the cardinal rule of no gum,
he did. I mean, you can't be chewing gum around Beverly.
but
Um,
he
he's
broke
also
another very
he's a ter
cardinal rule.
he's a terrible teacher. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh my
mean,
gosh. I feel attacked watching that scene. It's like he's a good student and all, but is he okay at home? Are you letting him watch all these obscene horror movies? Like, boy, who the fuck do you think you are?
whoa, that really did trigger you. I could tell.
Like that I felt attacked. I feel unloved. Like teachers are supposed to help bring us up, not sit there and beat us down just for liking horror movies.
Well, not only that, but she actually gives a perfectly reasonable response. She's like, "Well, he works at a video store." It's like, yeah, that's why he watches the movies. Now, granted, he has his own collection at home, of course, but yeah, the teacher jumps to me like, "I recommend therapy." Oh, recommends to like, yeah, is there a problem in the household, like a drug problem, like what, like, I mean, he does kind of
There's about
cross
to
the
be an
line
ass.
there.
There's about to be an ass beating problem. You sit there and say someone who likes horror needs therapy.
Well, listen now. I mean, here's where the movie like gets interesting though, because yes, from her perspective, some of these early kills are like, hey, I'm I'm defending my family, protecting my family, or I feel like my family's been wrong, so I'm taking it out. Um, but I mean, even if you have the dark side, maybe put him on the list to do a prank call to Mr. Steubens, but she's gonna take the extreme route and kill him.
So I think the reason she was only prank calling Dottie is just because Dottie just cut her off and took a parking spot. It's like that's not officially attacking her family, so she has no real reason to kill her. She just has a reason to fuck with her.
Well, here's the thing with the parking spot thing, though. It's like, so there's
It's annoying.
no, it's annoying, but there's two versions of that. There's the somebody knowingly and intentionally cuts you off and takes your parking spot. There's that, and then there's a more gray one where it's like they didn't really see you. They just felt like they got the parking spot like faster than you. We're not trying to intentionally like mess with you. Just so I don't. This wasn't like a Dottie like giving her the finger and then taking her spot. This was more kind of a, if I'm correct, this is the gray area of like didn't seem intentional on Dottie's part, but Beverly took it as like disrespectful and like a cardinal sin. But
Yeah, and that's why all she did was the prank calls, though, because it's not because at least from what we get with these first few kills, she only goes after people who threaten her family, not really who disrespect her. You disrespect her, she then will find a different way of going at you.
well, with Mr. Steubens, I land where her son Ship lands afterwards, where he says he's an asshole, but he didn't deserve to die. And I think that's kind of the line between being a psychopath and then being just normal and being like, okay, well, he's an asshole. Maybe Chip should get a different teacher, or maybe we can talk to the principal about what this teacher said to me. But you can't go to the parking lot and run him over repeatedly.
Well, at the very least, at least in her defense, only a druggie saw her do it.
It doesn't matter who saw the murder. It was a murder.
I'm trying to find out how come Disney did not put their name on this movie. This so all the acting for this movie makes me think this is a Disney Channel original movie.
It is not.
Literally, you take out the cursing, and instead of actually showing the kills, you just have it implied until you get the news flash. It is a Disney Channel freaking movie.
Well, okay. So
this is a Disney slasher.
It is kind of a Disney slasher. We talked about the idea of like her not covering her tracks well or not really planning ahead. It's like, okay, if you're gonna mow him down with your vehicle,
use a different vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, it's any witness is gonna be able to describe, hey, it was a blue vehicle, and then the cops pretty quickly find out that it's the only blue station wagon in town or who I think they say who's Mr. Steubens was a teacher of a child whose parents had a blue station wagon. Yeah. It's like, yeah, like you're automatically making yourself the main suspect in town when you do that. So,
Problem
um,
is, it's the whole fact that she had an unreliable witness there to actually say, "Yeah, it was a blue vehicle, man." Like, oh man,
what I don't understand is, I mean, okay, this stoner, I get it. She was stoned, so maybe her vision was blurry, but it's not like the station wagon had tinted windows. Shouldn't she even have been like, I saw blonde hair in the car, an older woman? Like, if someone's driving with no tinted windows, I mean, you can kind of see who's in the driver's seat, usually even from a distance, right? I mean,
again, you're believe it or
stoner.
not, there have been people. There has been cases that was thrown out because the only eyewitness was someone who was stoned. It
Ah,
does mess with your. I think it does mess with your mental faculties, even if not by much. Court is not going to take them seriously.
okay. Because the way they filmed the scene was like it wasn't like a quick 5 second the blue car drives by. So the stoner's watching actively as the blue car runs him over, backs up and runs him over again. It's a full like 30 seconds the stoner's watching the car. So it's just like the cop would have been like, "Did you see who was in the driver's seat?" And she has to be like, "No, I didn't see anybody in the."
It's
I don't know.
also possible she was in shock because who really expects to watch their teacher get ran over in the school parking lot at that?
I would be like, "What in the hell?" But if I was the stoner, I mean, especially knowing the stoner got very lucky that Beverly didn't notice her standing off the side. Beverly would have
Yeah,
immediately, as we'll see later on, Beverly would immediately went to kill her.
yeah.
She got the stoner got extremely lucky by Beverly not seeing her.
But let's
So
face it, we get rid of Stoner, there goes some comedy for this movie
yeah, that's true.
because she did have a pretty fun bit in the courtroom case.
She did, and we need her to make Beverly a suspect by the cop describing the car to the cop, so they can be on her tail. Then,
Also, you're telling me a school in Baltimore is not going to have a camera on the outside facing the parking lot? I guess maybe not in '94, but
94. I mean, phones didn't even have caller ID before Scream came out and made them popular. So, although it is Baltimore, so I mean, but this
but the
seems like
problem,
the more
but if this is a
suburban
public,
area.
if this is a public school, then actually, I think I've already killed my whole idea of why didn't anyone check the cameras? It's a public school in Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but she's quickly a suspect and but I mean, I think she navigates the cops questions fairly well in this case. Um I love the little things like she at one point she is going to she gets the scissors to go kill somebody and then she notices the garbage man and like puts the scissors down and grabs two little liquor things
Yep.
instead. These
Well,
garbage men are weird.
the garbage men get my Tommy Jarvis award for some of these kills that happens in this movie.
I mean, the movie is basically mostly comedy, I would say, because there's no reason this garbage man specifically says, you know what? Somebody should kill her. Talking about Rosemary. That was
What?
so out of place and random. He's like, someone should kill her.
So
What?
I know why, because it was Sloppy, I believe, that said that. So what should happen is Sloppy can actually read the future or see the future, and he sees this woman is the voice actress for one of the dumbest cartoons that's ever come out on Nickelodeon, and that is still out. So he's like, get rid of her before she's part of that.
Oh, do tell. What are we talking about?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, well, you forgot
Rosemary Rosemary is the voice
one of the most
actress.
popular cartoons of all time.
Rosemary is the voice actress for Mrs. Puff in that show.
Oh yeah, you can't kill her, man. That's a great show ish, maybe. I don't know. I've been told. No experience of watching it, but I've been told it's a great show.
Well,
Um,
count your blessings. When I was young and stupid, I watched like I think the first 3 seasons before I
but
realized what am I doing?
but okay. Even though I laughed my ass off at the scene, didn't it feel like kind of just like weird? There's like it's like someone should kill her, and she's like, somebody might, someone just
what
might.
what if
What is this conversation? I don't understand.
what if we get there's a backstory here we don't get, like maybe these two are actually, because we've already somewhat established that this probably isn't her first killing spree, or probably her first killing spree, not the first time she's killed. What if she gets these two to clean up after her?
Hmm. That is
Because
interesting.
even when it is known to the public she's killing people, these two
They
are
help.
still her ride and dies.
Yeah, these are her best friends in the movie. Like they are like no questions asked.
Literally,
Um,
I think it was Sloppy or it was Gus. One of them punches the younger cop, knocks his ass out.
yeah, it's funny that the more people know that she's like Serial Mom, the more popular she becomes in town. Like everybody's like, "Hey, that's Serial Mom. Let her in."
Well,
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I
so
guess we can talk about this quick little theory because it's now kind of going into Scream territory with this. Uh, this is a prequel to Scream. This
what do you
is
mean?
literally Stu. This is Stu's backstory. This is the backstory we did not get with Stu. So
Okay.
notice how in this movie, this woman is getting all of this praise for being a serial killer,
Yep.
and in Scream, everyone is celebrating Ghostface and all those murders that Ghostface has done.
Hmm.
And also, we get Matthew Lillard in this. What if my theory is Matthew Lillard being so happy, using up his mom's status as a serial killer to kind of get his popularity up, his fame up. And when that starts dying down, they move. Mom and dad are out of town a lot. And finally, Stu just goes, you know what? I want to go back to being what we were. And he meets
Hmm.
Billy, who's just as flipping insane. What if the whole first Scream, it wasn't Billy that was our main serial killer? It was Stu the whole time.
Well, it's hard. I gotta say, I mean, you're not far off here because watching the movie, I felt like, hey, this is the exact background that someone like Stu would have. A serial killer mother, works at the video store, obsessed with horror movies. It easily could be. The only thing I was thinking was, see, I was thinking more likely that, let's say, if the mom goes to prison, then Stu, I know it's pretty late in life to get adopted, but Stu goes to a different town to where he actually lives with new people, basically. I don't think in the Scream world that Serial Mom would actually be his mom in the Scream town. Mainly because remember that line where he's like, "My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me." I don't think he would say that about Serial Mom being mad at him. I think he'd be
You,
like,
well,
"Yeah, I'm gonna chip off the old block."
you never know because his mom, you can definitely tell even though she's fine with her son like a horror movie, she's fine with her son defending her. Something tells me this mom would not be fine if he just started a killing spree. Because then that's going to put his life in jeopardy. Because, and I hate to say this, but she is a woman, so it's different from her. If this was Stu or the dad killing people, if this was Chip or the dad killing people, this movie would have ended so much differently with them ending up in jail, probably getting the electric chair by the end of it.
Not if they had the lawyer abilities that she possesses to get herself off.
Oh no, she would be the
Um,
lawyer, but but I
but
do feel like this movie being 1994, they probably would have been harsher with either the dad or Chip being the serial killers versus the mom or maybe even the daughter.
hmm,
Let's talk about the
yeah,
daughter's boyfriend.
Carl. Uh,
Carl.
I mean, Carl makes a bad impression from the very beginning. At one point, it's stated that Carl's gonna take her somewhere as long as she loses 10 pounds. Um,
Yeah.
Carl was a dead man walking, I felt like from the first scene.
Well,
So,
yeah, and I'm gonna say this: Ricky Lake, she may her the or Misty
yeah.
may have been on the beefier side, but she was not an ugly woman.
No, not at
And I'm
all.
saying woman because I'm pretty sure her character's supposed to be 20, I think, in this movie.
Yeah, they kinda have Carl leave her for, like, more of what I would say is, like,
The more traditional,
generic
uh,
generic bimbo attractive type.
yeah. Which funny thing
Um
is, apparently that actress is played by a previous adult star.
Oh, okay, well, they were really going for that look then, so that just shows you.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's why when after Carl's death and you see her one more time, she's giving that younger cop the eyes.
mhm.
It's because she knows how to use the eyes.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, we hardly knew you, Carl. You
Well, the
came in the
problem
movie, and
is,
now you're
I kind of
dead.
wish I kind of wish Chip would have seen this kill because
Oh,
he
yeah.
then because then when he sees her stab him, pull out the liver, he could have been
Mhm.
like, "Leave her alone,
Liver!
leave her alone."
Yeah, you know what's crazy is, like, thinking about Matthew Lillard, right? He's so, like, calm and, like, cool here and this is 1994. How do you get to, like, over the top Stu 2 years later? Like, Stu is, like, so much more over the top than his character here. His
Trauma.
character here feels like a normal person, but, like, yeah, Stu is, like, a whole different animal, so
I'm saying trauma because even though in this movie it seems like he's relishing the fact that his mom is a serial killer and trying to get all these record deals and all that and TV spots, there is still trauma he's going through because of all this. Because think about it, you get one guy who knocks him out because was it Scotty was his brother.
yeah.
You got a guy who not who well, I guess doesn't knock him out, beats him to the ground, and I guarantee you that's probably happened to him multiple times that we just haven't seen.
Hmm.
Baltimore is a big place. Yeah, this one small area is all for, but I guarantee you get to the big city, nobody likes them.
Yeah. It's like, starting with Scream, I feel like Matt Lillard had, like a 5-year run where, like, everything I saw him in for, like, from Scream through, like,
Curve,
let's see, like, She's All That, Curve. He just started being, like, this very over the top character in all his movies, like, just always
Scooby
hamming it
Doo.
up. Just always hamming it up. I think now maybe he's come back now to more, like, grounded again, but it's interesting to see him here, like, in a very normal, like, laid back, calm speaking role, like, it's not the Matthew Lillard that we've come to know and love, I guess, so.
Well, I think really, I think him getting older is why he's getting less energetic with all the craziness because you see the same thing in multiple different characters with Beetlejuice. It looks like Michael Keaton isn't hamming it up like he did in the first movie, at least from what the trailers are showing.
Yeah,
Uh,
and let me make it clear, I love the hamming it up Matthew Lillard. I wish he would I mean, it's maybe not appropriate for this movie, but I mean, I'm always down for that, for them hamming it up, so,
but yeah, well, I don't know. I think I heard was this his first movie?
I think it's, like, his 2nd overall movie, but it's his first one where he has, like, any kind of
Real screen time?
big role, yeah,
Okay,
because
because
very early on, so.
I did hear some kind of interview where he actually stated that he has a real soft spot for this movie because
Mm.
it got him up where he wanted to be.
Well, you have to think probably, I mean, Scream is 2 years after this, so probably having this on his resume probably helped when they went to do Scream and stuff, so,
And he did
um,
have a slight bit of hamming when it comes to the Annie woman.
yeah. You gotta rewind. I'm I'm charging you the extra dollar right this time. It's 3 9 that's 2.99 plus 99, that's 3.99. That was kind of a fun scene, so.
Yeah, but also if he did ham it up, I'm sorry, he would have been the best thing about this movie, and you can't have him overshadow Kathleen Turner.
I think they would have been, like,
Or if he
in
was,
in competition because she's hamming it up too, and I don't know if you can beat her hamming it up either, so.
ooh, what if this movie was him and her being the serial killers?
Well, it's interesting to talk about, like, I was theorizing that not to say that he's to blame for her being a killer, but it's like, what if a picture a world where she being just a traditional stay-at-home, mom and wife where the husband gets up early in the day, goes to his dental practice, the kids go to school, go to their afternoon jobs afterwards, so she's just at home all day by herself. Did something happen at some point where she stumbles in a Chip's room, uh, somehow gets into his horror collection, starts watching all the horror movies, slowly but surely starts to put together, maybe watches the original Friday 13th, seeing Mrs. Voorhees as inspiration, and then suddenly she's killing people.
Are you
Not to
telling me?
not to blame shit, but maybe there's a gateway here. So
Are you telling me you're blaming horror movies for how this woman acts?
yes, no, I don't know. I mean, I
How dare you, sir? For one, I can go against that because I
I
guarantee you
said
she was watching horror movies her whole life, even before she had a kid.
I sound like Mr. Stupid.
Yeah.
Uh, you
And
need therapy.
the reason I say that is because later on in the movie, the father finds a tape recording, which he
Mhm.
plays, and it's apparently Bundy telling her he's about to go in 6 days and he hasn't had any sex. I'm
Mm,
like, hold up.
wow.
You're telling me this woman knew Ted Bundy? Maybe
Well,
for all we know, Ted Bundy was her ex husband.
okay. So basically, maybe not horror movies. Maybe just she's just always been crazy.
Yeah, because if she apparently was so close to Ted Bundy that he's telling her, "Hey, I'm about to die in 6 days and I haven't had sex in a while." So,
Yeah.
excuse you, are y'all together or something?
What do you think about the couple that keeps bothering her husband because they need some dental
Uh,
work done? Uh, because
you know,
if they don't get it treated right now, that they might be infected over the weekend. So can't wait till Monday. So
well, the annoying part was, yeah, they did that. I can somewhat understand, it's like, hey, we feel it's an emergency. Can you please come? Can you please take care of this? Cool. They do pressure him into doing it, but I can somewhat understand it. What I don't understand is when you get him in the damn seat, he then fights with our dentist the entire time. It's like, dude, how about shut up and let him do his job? You are
super.
worse. You are worse than me when I was 5 years old.
And he's doing you a favor by treating you on the weekend, which he could have said no.
Yeah, exactly. So
But do they deserve to die? All that said, do they deserve Beverly be hiding in the closet and stabbing her and then dropping a big ass air conditioner, whatever the hell it was, on the
well, let's
newspaper?
talk about the switcheroo because her family originally thought she was going after Scotty.
So
It's
this is
I
a
think the
funny scene.
family.
This is a funny scene because like at this point in the movie, so one thing though, it's okay. So the kids basically had their own discussion about after Carl's killed, Ricky Lake basically is pretty convinced that her mom's the killer. So she tells Chip. Chip reacts to like, nah, no way. But they're kind of suspicious at the dinner table. Chip basically his ways of bringing up is throwing Sky under the bus. He's
Yeah,
like, Scotty thinks you're the killer. I'm like, huh? I don't remember like Scotty being the one. So like, and she's like straight like, oh, I'll be back. And she dips the hell out. And they're just like, damn, she would probably wanted to kill Scotty right now. And I'm like, yeah, probably. Like you just threw him under the bus. So. But no, yeah, she wasn't though. So, or was she? I don't know. Did she change her plans? I don't know.
no, what I think it was is because I'm also still trying to figure out, did the husband say anything about the couple? Because our only interaction with her and that couple was at the PTA meeting.
And they didn't seem to be on bad terms per se.
Yeah,
So,
she was annoyed by him, but I'm wondering if the father said something to her off screen and we didn't see it. But
I mean, I thought it was simple as like Scotty thinks I'm the killer. I'm gonna go kill him. I thought that was like the for her to leave immediately. It was kind of like, oh well, that makes
yeah,
sense.
but then she goes to someone else's house. There's no reason for her not to know where Scotty lives.
Right.
I mean, I guess not because I mean the father didn't even know. Chip had to tell him, "Hey, this is Scotty's place."
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I
Well,
mean, I thought Scotty would be at that point friend of the family to a point where the families know each other. Maybe they've gone to each other's houses like that. I mean,
yeah,
Scotty shows up to their house every morning to like
yeah.
pick
That's
them up.
why.
So,
That's why. To be honest with you, she probably heard that and then went to go kill the other couple because until then she was probably thinking to herself, Scotty's not trying to kill our fam, not trying to hurt my family. Slightly disrespectful to me, but not trying to hurt my family.
and she has to be honest that she's the main suspect. So of course people are gonna like be suspicious of her. So
So with that being said, she then goes to the other couple. I guess has kids because they even mentioned, hey, we need to hurry up and watch this before the kids get here. It's like, or are you gonna watch Wheel of Fortune whenever? You're the parents.
Ah, go figure.
And then yeah, we get a I will say this woman is a half ninja. I say half ninjas because she throws these scissors pretty good. She just
Holy
misses.
cow. Hilarious.
She just
Hilarious.
misses.
Where the hell did she learn that? Yeah, I don't understand.
I'm wondering if she missed on purpose or if she literally just has bad aim.
I don't know. I mean, this dude almost gets away, but
Yeah, and then he stupidly stops right there where the. I guarantee you, we should have seen an X under his feet just to add that extra laugh factor.
that this kind of worked out way too well for her. Like him standing that exact spot like an idiot. Oh!
That's what I'm saying. With this being a comedy, there really should have been an X under his feet.
All right. Now, at this point, I mean, clearly everywhere she's going, the cops are following her. They're going to church, the entire,
She literally looks
caravan of
like
cars.
they literally look like they're in a police funeral procession. How many cops is following her?
Yeah. Now, okay. So, there's a series of events that we have to go over real quick. So,
The church.
basically, we have the church, which is going to lead to, well, again, the garbage men putting in work to help her get free here.
Yeah, they knocked out a cop. They knocked out a couple of cops, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now, Chip and his girlfriend are like gung ho about her being a killer. They're like, "Mom, you're a killer," and she's like, "Oh, this is great. You're like Freddy or Jason." So they're pretty gung ho, even though especially the girlfriend, kind of goes back and forth between like, "I'm all down for this," but then also like, "Oh my god, it's real. It's like real blood."
Yeah,
So,
see, I wanted to mention that too. When she first, I want to pull out this joke. Killing someone with a rump roast is damn near hilarious, especially since I know it's a leg of lamb, but it sounds funnier saying rump roast. Just because this was a scrawny woman she beats to death with this rump roast.
I just like
And also,
the kills are so funny because of like the victim's reaction. Like when she first gets hit with the rump roast, she's like,
she just
"Oh!" Such a funny reaction. You got to be thinking like, first of all, what the hell is this woman beating me to death with like chicken? I don't understand. Like,
well, what I'm trying to figure out is how come there was no part of that rump roast had been eaten yet. It was fully cooked in this woman's fridge, and it's like, and you're gonna make a sandwich instead of eat that while you're enjoying your Annie?
did you appreciate that Beverly, when she picked up the rump roast, she first stopped to
Of
like
course,
feed the dog and pet the dog?
of course, because this woman really deserved it what she got. Because I'm sorry, you then pretty much making your dog lick your feet. It's like get
It's
a
kind of
damn
weird.
husband for that.
It's kind of weird. And then for those, I mean,
It's
this is
disgusting.
for people's time. Maybe people don't understand this because it's so old now back in the day. But when you had VHS videotapes, you return to the video store, you would have to rewind the tape back to the beginning. Otherwise, the next person renting it would start the movie like midway through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a courtesy in movies, of course. Video stores would give you like a fee basically if you didn't rewind. And she's clearly a consistent habitual, not rewinder. So although she did get charged $1 free from the video store, she also was going to be charged with her life.
Death by
Now,
rump roast.
and whatever hell she's in, she will remember always to rewind.
Yeah, because that's really the last thing she heard is mom screaming, "Rewind!"
It's like, yeah, if you want to get the point across, Beverly, you should tell her that before you kill her. after she's dead, she can't really hear that message. So
And then she gives the dog the rump roast to eat.
now, all right, let's backtrack a second. So, when they stumbled upon Scotty at his house, which is probably one of the most embarrassing things that can happen to a teenage boy,
Yeah.
is having your private moment spoiled by not only random people, friends walking in, friends, adults, and then cops.
Well, I do want to ask: was this meant to be a private moment? Because He was aggressive. I mean, like he was jumping up and down. He was
Well,
literally. I'm pretty sure he was punching himself at one point, and he
what?
was screaming at the top of his lungs.
It's because he thought he had the house to himself.
Even if I had the house to myself, I still never was that damn loud or that damn aggressive.
Well, let's talk about his character for
I'm
a
not
second
trying to
because
rip it off.
his character is ridiculous. In the beginning, when they're watching a horror movie in the room, it's like Chip, his girlfriend, and him. He's literally there. He's like, "Come on, let's put on some porn." Like with your friend and his girlfriend. He's like, "Wow, let's turn on some sex right now." It's like this dude is like
This guy
over
would
the
have.
top.
This
I
guy
just
would have
I
sat
understand.
there and watched his friend and girlfriend get it on just so he can watch it.
I understand raging teenage hormones, but sweet Jesus. Um, okay, but I want to bring that up because after that, Scotty seemed to take that as I no longer like these people because they embarrassed me there. It seems like from the
And stole
church
his
scene.
car.
Well, I'm getting there, but that comes after the church. At the church, she's already given them like the evil eye, basically, or just kind of like a that was weird. But it's not really established like if him and like Chip are still friends or not, because Chip doesn't seem to react to him in a way of like we're not friends. It just seems to be anger on Scotty's side. Now that said, a couple weird things happen. So after the church thing, yeah, Chip then steals his car, takes his car to the video store. Um, Scotty follows. Scotty gets his car back. Gets the car back. At that point, to me, Scotty should go home. There's no reason for him to get his car and then be like, you know what? I'm gonna go find out if she is a killer. I'm gonna go watch her kill and investigate. What the hell, man? I mean, well, I don't know. I don't know what the hell Sky's doing. Think he's doing? What does he think he's doing? Sitting on that roof, watching her kill somebody? Because as I mentioned earlier, the stoner girl just happened to get lucky that Beverly didn't see her.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, Beverly is like, oh, and then we get this
This chase scene.
hilarious. Now, the funniest thing is that Beverly being the mom, again, like before she runs across the street, she checks to look both ways, see if a car's coming. That's like such a mom thing. Hilarious and surprisingly fast runner too. Like he has a massive head start on her, but then when they cut to the chase scene, she's right behind him. I don't understand.
Well, he did have to get down from a rooftop.
But he still had a huge head start, I feel like. It should not have been like where she's right behind him. But
now before we go away from this to the next scene, I do got one more gripe about Birdie, which is Chip's girlfriend.
Yeah.
The whole movie, she's as you brought up, she's gung ho. She's excited about all this. She sees the dead body. She doesn't actually actively see the kill, but she sees the dead body and goes, "Oh my god, it's brown! Like, it's not red like the movies. It's real." I'm like, really? There are 4 actually dead bodies, and now that you see the 5th, you're now saying, "Oh, it's real. Maybe I shouldn't worry about. Maybe I should actually worry." Really?
Yeah, and then she's like back to being gung ho later on in the movie again. But so I
Well,
don't
that's because
know.
now she's making money because her and Chip are probably married.
Yeah, they got their so that's your stew theory. It's like, well, also, what the hell happened to Birdie then? Shouldn't she have been the co-culprit, not Billy Loomis?
Oh no, I know exactly what happened to Birdie.
Don't tell me,
When,
Connor.
when right before Stu and his right before Chip and his family moved, Mom. She was probably Mom's last kill. Chip saw it and then was either forced to kill the mom or yada yada.
I think the mom likes her though, so I don't know.
Well, it depends. But that's the other reason I think Stu and Chip are the same person. They both have sisters.
That's true.
Sure, you don't find out Stu had a sister until movie 5 of Scream, but you find out he has a nephew, so he must have had, and they even said it's his sister, so he had a sister. The boom.
Well, that's true. Now I was gonna comment. I mean, I understand she has a knife in her hands and she's chasing you.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know if I buy this like epic car chase where he's so scared of her that he's like being chased throughout the entire town from this woman who he's treating like is Jason Voorhees chasing her.
Okay,
I
let me
mean,
bring into
she has a
perspective for
knife,
you.
but yeah.
I'll bring something into perspective. You just witnessed her beat a woman to death with a rump
Yeah.
roast. Not
Yeah,
even Jason could do that.
what? She attacked a woman from behind who was sitting down with the element of surprise. That's different from her approaching a man and then just killing him.
With a rump roast, okay? You get punched by a rump roast, and you tell me if that's going to kill you from blunt force trauma.
Are you saying that she has like superhuman strength? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying the
She's
amount of commitment that woman has compared to a 16, 17-year-old. No, that 16, 17-year-old is running for his life.
look, she's handy with a rump roast, but it doesn't make her RoboCop, all right? He could take her, all right? He could stop,
Kidding
turn
me?
around. He could
She could
stop, turn
probably
around, and
be
say,
RoboCop.
he could stop and turn around and say, like, wait a minute, why am I running from you? Let's fight. Boom. Respectable.
Stabbed.
Probably. But I mean, but the reaction of just like, oh my God, I'm being chased by the Terminator. Like, and then,
Rump
dude, like,
roast.
wait, you're in a car. First of all,
A
why don't you,
faster car, to be honest with you.
why didn't he just go home? His home had to be in that neighborhood, in that area. They all lived close to each other. Drive home and lock the door and then get a weapon. Why are you
Well, we already
driving?
saw that she can get into a locked house.
Okay.
But
If
he
I get
still
in,
would have had
if
home
I
field
get,
advantage.
if I get in my house and like I have a weapon, yeah, I'm not scared of her coming in the house at that point. If I have a weapon in my house, it's like, and by the way, I mean, yeah, she can get in, but
Well,
he has
also,
he has all the advantages at that point, though.
not
It-
particularly, because how much you want to bet in his and the way he's handling everything, he most likely would have focused solely on that front door, thinking, okay, all the other doors are locked. I'm going to wait on this front door, wait for her to come in, and then gank her when she comes in. No, she's probably going to enter in through the second story window, slowly walk down the steps, and while you're still facing the front door, she's going to stab you in the back of the head. There are so
I
many places she could be able to sneak in that is not going to be advantageous to you unless you go up to your attic bedroom.
I just like I know that the way they frame it basically is that he gets stuck in traffic, so he has to get out the car. But I mean, he could have drove to the police station.
Where's the police?
There's got to be someone at the police station.
No, they're all getting their ass beat at the church.
He drives he drives to downtown Baltimore, like into the city, and then like you go into a concert, but it's not just any concert. It's a concert where they're open to murder. They want to be excessive. They want to help.
Well, it's funny because he's trying to get one of the band members' attention. She just like gut punches him with her guitar. I'm like,
Yeah.
really now?
This was not just a serial mom murder. This was a joint murder between serial mom and the band. The band helped her.
And the band sitting there cheering for her at the end of it.
Yeah.
But long story short, she gets off and she kills another person because
Now
this is the most
this
ridiculous.
This is the most funniest death scene ever. The way the girl reacts to the first hit, she says, "No, fashion has changed." No, it hasn't. It beats her skin. But the way she delivers the line, "No, fashion has changed. Stop it!" Like,
I'm telling you, it's a Disney slasher.
oh man.
And then, of course, you got that one last still frame of Suzanne Summers realizing that, oh shit, this woman is actually dangerous.
Well, Suzanne Summers at this time was a big star. She was on the show Step by Step. She had like these workout videos. She's from Three's Company back in the day, so she was pretty popular. I would have like had her kill Suzanne Summers for some reason. That would have been ending the movie with a bang, I think.
Have Suzanne Summers have the white shoes on.
Now, let me ask. I mean, obviously, she just got off the crime. She's got off pretty much innocent, right? But how's she gonna explain this one? She just killed the juror in the bathroom. Like, I don't know
Phone
how
booth.
I don't know if the future is looking too bright at this point, right?
I mean, there's the only thing I can say is no one actively saw it. I doubt there's a camera in there. And no, yeah, and I don't even think they're doing fingerprints yet.
Yeah.
No, they
If they
did
were
because they did it on the pike that she used to kill Carl. So yes,
right.
so yeah, she screwed a second time, especially now that Suzanne Summers is like, oh, I can't promote her no more.
Yeah, I don't know. And also like so there's two things. There's the criminal part of it. Is she screwed? And then also like what is her relationship with her family now going forward?
Well,
Because I
what's
don't
bad
think
is
her dad is definitely creeped out. Or not
well,
her
as
dad,
bad as her
her
whole
husband.
when she was given the not guilty verdict, her whole family looked scared, which is funny because they were supporting her the whole damn movie, even up to this point. But then the minute they hear not guilty, they're all like, "Uh oh."
Well, for the husband, the reality is like I'm supposed to sleep with this woman every night in my bed, like comfortably. What if
Well,
I
you don't want a
he's
divorce?
he's like, what if I forget to take the trash out tomorrow? She may kill me.
Well, if she's a stay-at-home mom, she's doing that.
Okay. Well, what if he works too much overtime? Dead man
Well,
walking.
yeah, because then he's most likely cheating.
In this case, dead man flossing.
But at the same time, just don't
dead man,
divorce her.
dead man brushing.
Don't divorce her. Keep everything as normal as
Oh, he has.
possible, and he'll
Well,
be alive.
he has no choice. I mean, if I'm the kids, I'm like, oof. If I don't get straight A's, she may kill me.
Well, remember, her oldest daughter is 20. She's already out of school, probably in college. I don't know.
And she's also thinking like, I can never bring a boyfriend home because look what happened to poor Carl.
Well, Carl deserved it.
He was an asshole, but he didn't deserve to die. That's the story. That's the story of the movie, basically. I feel like. Unfortunately, we never got a Serial Mom Part 2. I would have welcomed it to continue the story. I would have had them move to a different town to start over, and then it just starts
we
up again. So.
we did get a sequel. It's called Scream.
Oh God, no,
Yes,
no.
yes.
That theory, it started out promising, but as I think about it more, it's right up there with Ghostface being a hired assassin. It's pretty ridiculous.
After like the first two movies, Ghostface is a hired assassin.
Why do you keep doing this? I don't understand.
Because you have yet to watch Terrifier.
Oh my goodness, good shirt though. Why don't you give me one of those shirts and I'll consider it. So,
all right, so you ready to get to our recommendations?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I will say this. This movie's not going to be for everybody because it's not a traditional horror movie by any stretch. It's more what's the word? Satirical?
Satirical.
Satirical. Perfect. Satirical. It's more satirical, more of a dark comedy, I would say. Even the kills are mostly played for laughs. So as like if you're somebody with like a reasonably fun sense of humor with a little bit of darkness, sense the dark comedy, you can get a kick out of this. It's an engaging, fun 90 minutes. It's not gonna take up 2.5 hours of your time. You don't have to put too much thought into the movie. You can. It's clever enough where you don't have to like turn your brain off. Don't get me wrong. It's actually a pretty clever movie. But it just strikes me as like a fun 90 minutes with a great lead performance. The death scenes are not the right homebound in terms of like the actual fun, like the actual death scenes themselves, but the setup usually is fun. Seeing someone being to death over the rump roast always has its place, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid recommend for me. I watched it way back in the 90s when it came out. Always had a pretty good impression of it. Glad to know that it's developed that cult following. Most people have a pretty high opinion of it. It's a unique movie. Not too many movies have the feel of this movie. It's a unique, fun movie. Main reason to see is for Kathleen Turner, though. She's like a great, I don't want to say like horror villain, but whatever she is in this movie, she's doing a good job of it. So
she's a good Disney villain.
There's Javar, there's Scar, there's
Beverly.
Yeah, Ben Beverly. So yeah.
So I'm definitely also recommending this movie myself. It is funny. It is well acted. The kill scenes are actually pretty decent. Like I said, the rump roast scene is just amazing to me, just because of watching someone shocked faces like, did I just get hit in the face with a rump roast? With
the song that's playing is actually like a famous song. Like apparently,
Tomorrow was it Tomorrow by Annie?
Yeah, they had to pay $60,000 just to have the song in the scene. So, but it
Yeah,
was worth it.
I know the song. And overall, it is a fun time. There's no boring parts. And even if you're not a big fan of comedies, but you're a fan of Matthew Lillard, it's a good one to watch. Especially since this is like his, from what it sounds like, his first major role besides Scream. And so overall, I'm definitely recommending this movie. It's a fun watch. Give yourself a chance with it.
It's actually kind of a solid double feature with Scream, I would say, because
Because Scream is a sequel.
Scream is not a sequel, but it's satirical as well.
Satirical.
If I can ever say that word, it's yeah, satanical. Yeah, it means that Satan approves of the movie. So
yeah. So, and as always, folks, I just want y'all to know this movie is not based on a true story. Don't let it lie to you.
It is not. No, it's funny that they put that in there, but no, absolutely not. Yeah.
And actually, I got a question for our audience.
Oh, you busting out the horror trivia?
Horror trivia for our audience.
All right, let's hear it.
All right, you know answer. I don't even know. This is for the audience. We can answer it in next week's video. How's that sound?
All right.
All right. What was the name of the half fly, half human monstrosity in the remake of The Fly?
Now you're saying, and we're not allowed to answer this.
Not until we do not release the answer until next week. Let our audience actually have a chance to answer it.
All right, folks, you heard it in the comments. Leave your answer. Although the main thing we got to say is also try to do it straight up and not. I mean, everybody has Google, so you can easily find the answer. So, going to trust that people are just using their actual horror knowledge. Do I know the answer off the top of my head? Hell no.
But, no, because I'll say I don't either because I've never seen the remake of The Fly. I've never actually seen The Fly.
Well, you just got our horror cards taken away again. So add The Fly to the list. We're reviewing that sometime next year. I like Jeff Goldblum, so I need to watch that anyway. So,
oh, that's fair. All right.
But for this week, folks, if you haven't seen it, go watch Serial Mom. It's actually not. It's actually, I don't think it's easy to find streaming wise. I had to like
I rented it off of Prime Video.
I did the exact same thing. Yeah. But it's actually one that I'll probably eventually get the Blu-ray. But yeah, I don't think it's like on Tubi or anything. So
not that I saw.
But watch it this year. So it's the 30-year anniversary is one of the reasons I brought it up, 1994. And yeah, but other than that, let us know what the answer to the question is. I'm just gonna say Jeff Goldblum. That's fine. That's not gonna be an answer. Just the actor. So.
How is that the name of the half fly, half human monstrosity?
It's Jeff Goldblum.